Greetings to you. I hope you're doing great. I hope you're keeping safe. Thank you so much. If you're just clicking on our channel for the very first time, please don't forget to give us a follow. Don't forget to share this live stream. Don't also forget to keep us your question in the chat. We'll be looking at polycystic ovary syndrome. We'll be looking at, in particular, those things that will make your doctor say that you have polycystic ovary syndrome. So we'll be looking at clinical features that will make your doctor say that you have polycystic ovary syndrome. These clinical features are those specific things the doctor will look at and say, oh, come on, this is more likely that you are suffering from polycystic ovary syndrome. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. If this is your first time joining us, please don't forget to share. Don't forget to keep your question. If you have any, thank you so much. We'll be going through the questions. May God bless you richly. So let's begin. In the name of the Almighty, most merciful, most glorious, may the peace and blessings of the Almighty be with you, guide you, protect you, show you the right path to follow. Have mercy upon you, have mercy upon your family, have mercy upon your loved ones, have mercy upon everyone else, including myself. Amen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all my Muslim brothers and sisters following me. God bless you richly. So we'll be looking at polycystic ovary syndrome. If this is your first time joining, this is Women's Health Forum, where we discuss health issues related to menstruation. We discuss fertility here. We discuss issues with anything infection, maybe chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis. We discuss it here. We discuss ladies struggling to conceive. We discuss the menstrual cycle here. Today we are going to look at something very important, that particular thing that can make you it very difficult for you to get pregnant, and that is polycystic ovary syndrome. Polycystic ovary syndrome is among those factors that affect fertility. Generally, the factors that can make it difficult for you to conceive include: 1, the right time to have sex will make it difficult for you to get pregnant. 2, your age. Age is a factor that affects your fertility. 3, your weight. Your weight affects your fertility. 4, lifestyle. Your lifestyle, the way you eat, what you drink. If you're a smoker, it affects your fertility. We have health and medicals affect your fertility. Endometriosis affect your fertility. Polycystic ovary syndrome, which is what excuse me. Polycystic ovary syndrome, which is what we'll be looking at today, is one of those things that will affect your fertility and make it very difficult for you to get pregnant. So we are looking at polycystic ovary syndrome. So if you're joining us, please let us know where you're watching us from, which part of the world are you watching us from. If you're within Cameroon, let me know which specific town in Cameroon you're watching us from. What is polycystic ovary syndrome? What is polycystic ovary syndrome? Have you ever heard of that name before? If yes, where? On the internet, television, radio? Your doctor told you? What is polycystic ovary syndrome? From the word poly means many. You know, back then in secondary school and even primary school, we were taught about monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide. So when you say poly, we are talking about many. So we can qualify polycystic ovary syndrome as many cystic ovary syndrome, because poly here means that you have many cysts. So what is polycystic ovary syndrome? This is the ability of your ovaries, the syndrome in which your ovaries produces many cysts, and these cysts are many, such that it makes it harder for you to get pregnant. And polycystic ovary syndrome is now linked to your weight, your overweight, it's linked to it, your obese, it's linked to it. is also linked to androgens. That's the male sex hormone. These androgens are male sex hormone that actually are supposed to be within the male category. So as a lady, if you have androgens in a level that is higher than what it should be, then it could eventually lead to polycystic ovary syndrome. So what are those things your doctor can diagnose you with to say that you have polycystic ovary syndrome? What are those things? So the very first thing is when your cycle is irregular. The very first clinical feature of polycystic ovary syndrome is when your cycle is irregular. What do we mean by irregular cycle? Most ladies, when you ask them, is your cycle regular? They say no. You say why? Why do you say it's not regular? They say they don't see their menses on the same calendar date. Are you a victim of that explanation? Because that's wrong. That's not what it means by an irregular cycle. There are many reasons for irregular cycle. The one, none of the reasons are because of the fact that you don't see your menses on a specific calendar date. There are many ladies who tell you, I don't menstruate on the same calendar date. In January, my date was different. February, my date was different. March, my date was different. April, my date was different. May is still different. If you are that lady who think that because of this your cycle is irregular, please just indicate in the chat here. Let us discuss it. So the first thing that can make your doctor say, oh, come on, this could be polycystic ovary. Your cycle is not regular. I want to talk about irregular. We're talking about the fact that you might menstruate and some months you don't menstruate at all. Okay, it's skip months and you don't have up to 9 menstrual cycles per year. You don't have up to 9 menstrual cycles per year. That is oligomeria. But now, there are some people who don't have menses at all. Menses are cysts. It's not that they've arrived menopause, but no menses for maybe 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and even a year. So that is complete amenorrhea. If you have that, then that means your cycle is irregular. And in this situation, your doctor can now be going further to look at the next clinical feature. The next clinical feature is when your androgens, which are male sexual hormone, the androgen hormone, the male sexual hormone, when it is higher than it should be, when the androgen hormone, which is the male sex hormone, is higher than it should be, then you are pushing towards polycystic ovary syndrome. And this will actually give you features like facial hair growth. Facial hair growth means that you have hair around your face. It can also give you things like acne, hair loss, and all of this will make you understand that you could be suffering from increase in the male sex hormone, that's the androgen hormone that produces testosterone, that makes you to have this. And if your cycle is irregular, you have these characteristics, meaning that there is an increase in the male hormone. That male hormone, that's the second clinical feature. The third clinical feature is when you have an increase in your weight, meaning you're overweight or you're obese. Okay, if you're overweight or you're obese, then plus irregular cycle, plus increase in the androgens, which is the male sex hormone, then you're getting closer. In short, you're almost there where your doctor can tell you that you are suffering from polycystic ovary syndrome. What do we mean by overweight? Overweight doesn't mean that you weigh 100 kilograms. That's it. No. Your weight has to correspond to your height. So a doctor can calculate your BMI, body mass index. Your BMI is the body mass index. When the BMI is above 25 up to 30, you're overweight, and above 30, that is obesity. How do you calculate it? You take your weight divided by your height times itself. So your weight divided by your height times height. So you first of all take your height, you multiply by itself, you keep the answer. Then you come back, you take your weight and you divide by that answer that you got after multiplying your height by itself. If the final answer falls between 24 right up to 25, you are normal. If you fall from above 25 right up to 30, you are overweight, and above 30, you're obese. If you fall below 24, below 18.5, then you're underweight, means that you are a super mannequin. You need to work on your weight. Okay, so that is our next factor. We will say the first one is irregular menses. The second factor, the second clinical feature your doctor will look at is the androgen hormone, that's the male hormone, and the third is the weight. The fourth, which is the final feature your doctor will look at, could be the polycystic itself, meaning your doctor can send you to the lab, to the ultrasound unit for you to do pelvic ultrasound. The pelvic ultrasound, what we call echography, if there is the presence of multiple cysts, then your doctor can tell you multiple tiny cysts, which means there are polycysts. Then your doctor can confirm that you are suffering from polycystic ovary syndrome. What are you supposed to do? You follow up with your doctor. Follow up with the treatment from your doctor. Please, it is very important that you follow up with this treatment, because most people do the mistake of thinking that, oh, polycystic ovary syndrome, maybe there's no treatment, so on. There's treatment. Medically, anything that is used in reducing, completely removing something, yeah, it's all treatment. So your doctor will give you treatment. But what you need to do personally is to control your dieting. Please don't eat junk food. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Make sure that you control your weight as well, and make sure your weight is a good one. So with that, we will be ending our discussion. If you have any question, you go on, Sister, excuse me, Madam Antoinette. Thank you so much for being here. If you have a question, please, you go ahead, please. If the question or we call out the show. I hope the discussion sank deeply. So we're looking at the features, those things your doctor look at and say you have polycystic ovary syndrome. Madam Antoinette, looking at you, I don't think you fall in that category, because you are first of all not overweight. It means we are already talking about -1. But now the other features of polycystic ovary syndrome also looks at what the androgen hormones, look at your irregular cycle. If your cycle is irregular, you could fall in that category. All right. Yeah, hormones, the androgen hormone, that's the male hormone. If that hormone is present in higher level, you can fall in that category. All right. So then also the polycystic ovary itself means you can fall in that category. If you don't have any question, then we'll be calling off the day. For those who will be watching after, please do it to share, do it to keep your question in the comment section. Madam Antoinette, do you have any question, please? Please, do you have any question? Okay, certainly no question. So thank you so much for being here. For all those who followed, may God bless you richly. Thank you. Do have a beautiful time. This is Timothy for myself.